we're going to talk about how Koala Tea is lying about Lupe Fiasco and was lying for the whole time. And so let's go ahead and kind of break this down. If you haven't been on the internets recently and in the hip hop space, people seem to believe that like Lupe Fiasco is super mad at Kendrick Lamar. And I may be foreshadowing a little bit. This kind of foreshadows the conversation that was had with a streamer named Koala Tea, who reacts to things on the internet, was live streaming about Lupe Fiasco, and Lupe Fiasco pulled up. He started with a video called Technical Skills Don't Sell Records, the Lupe Fiasco Problem Part 1. And that was referencing a video, and I'm going to put these links down in the description, by King Green that talked about lyricism in general not really selling that much, not being the reason why people buy albums, basically. And so Koala Tea saw that as an opportunity to talk about Lupe Fiasco in the midst of that conversation, even though King Green never really brought up Lupe Fiasco in the first place. So in this conversation, I think it's important to like kind of break down that bit of history and talk about like how we think Lupe handled this conversation after watching it. So the video that we're responding to is Lupe told me keep that same energy, so we address it. And this is where Lupe Fiasco pulls up. So well, how did you feel Lupe handled? How do you think that Lupe handled the conversation?
I think he handles all situations not all, because sometimes he be crashing out, but most times he handles things in a studious academic way. So like, let's just go through it point by point. He comes through to debate, not argue. Let's do points like, what is the actual issue? What is it that we're talking about? How can we either solve it, resolve it, or how can we like extrapolate more information to get to the bottom of whatever we're discussing? So I was like very appreciative that that's how he approached it, because I don't like people just crashing out all the time based in stuff people said about him.
So I think a lot of people are saying now, and this is what I think about the conversation. A lot of people right now are saying, Lupe shouldn't have done this. Right. And I disagree. What I think about the conversation is he should have popped up. Hey, actually, I feel like people like Lupe should do this more often. Mm-hmm. He does bring up in a different conversation that there's collateral sort of damage to like wallowing in the mess with fans.
Yeah.
But I believe having this conversation is important, and rappers being a part of these types of conversation is important. Ultimately, I believe that Lupe was there to educate and not argue like you're saying. And that educational piece is what I believe is missed by the comment section, is missed by the pundits having the conversation afterwards. Mm-hmm. Because Lupe even says it within this live stream that people are going to take this, they're going to clip this is going to be hot for a week, and everybody's going to be talking about the wrong thing in this conversation. Everybody's going to be talking about me and Kendrick Lamar, but they're not going to be talking about the way that I handled the conversation. So that's where I want us to start. Okay. And so we're gonna deal with Lupe Fiasco asking Koala Tea, what is the problem? And we're gonna start with how Koala Tea kind of dodges questions.
You said my name and your mouth have a one-sided relationship. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you always got my name in your mouth.
What's always?
Every time I come on YouTube, right, your show pops up because you're in my algorithm, I guess, right? And whenever my name is in your mouth, it's always like sexy smoke. So I'm like, what's the problem?
Oh, my problem is I didn't really have a problem with you per se. What I was bringing out was you had,
because this ain't the first time. Like, this ain't the first jump, right?
What you did with
you have like a habit of doing this. So I just want to. I normally get people face to face, with whoever it be, right? People get my phone number. They want to do it like this. They want email. So anybody that ever says my name and they have a certain amount of kind of clout or reputation like you, so it's like I just if we got smoke. I mean, you got 40,000 followers, right?
So that first part, like, What's the problem? Koala Tea kind of starts to answer, but doesn't really get to it.
He ducks it immediately because I don't have a problem with you per se.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you do have a problem because even if you're just trying to like articulate that you think that lyricism isn't important or doesn't sell records, you then try to use him as the poster child for that, which means you got a problem with me. You still have a problem with me. And it's not a per se. When you think about lyricism or lyrics not selling records, I'm coming to your brain.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a problem.
Right.
And you could have just said, well, he says it later, but you could have just said in that moment and answer versus saying you don't have a problem with me per se, because clearly you do.
I'm also trying to confirm a narrative that like has been brought up since the first album that isn't really founded in any facts. It's just full of feelings and conjecture. Like I don't understand this, so therefore this didn't sell any records. Therefore, like lyricism doesn't sell records. Therefore, Lupe doesn't sell records, and that is not true. And I think we'll get to that in a bit. Maybe skip a little bit forward to the part where Koala Tea brings up the one-sided relationship with Kendrick Lamar that Lupe has.
You
Come
said,
on, man, you.
wait, Lupe.
Kendrick's not here.
You said
God's not here. Kendrick's not
where
here.
you come from then? Where you come
Kendrick's
from?
not here. I mean, he's not on his live.
He wasn't here for
He's
you
not
either.
here.
He wasn't here
He's
for you
not
either.
here.
You was talking about him.
He's
He
not
wasn't here.
here.
Hold on. You was talking
He's not
about
here.
him. Is it a one-sided relationship with Kendrick name in your mouth too?
Bruh. He's not here.
I want to know.
He's not here.
Okay. You don't want to answer that
We're
question.
not here. And so me and just to be clear, me and TD are good.
So Koala Tea is in this situation still ducking like what is the problem? That question. And when Lupe says you brought me up when you didn't need to bring me up, he compares it to like Lupe's comments about Kendrick Lamar, but like still is like dodging the conversation about like, yo, I need you to say what your issue is with me.
Yeah.
Not reference my conversation with Kendrick Lamar when I have I have relationships that you're not aware of.
You know, what's funny about this is I never realized how butthurt fans were about the Control verse. Because
who's fans?
Well, just fans in general in terms of like the conversation. Because when we end up in conversations like this, the lyricists responded. There were a lot of lyricists that responded. The response that he's having is kind of like rappers rap. Like it was a rap thing. And people are making this out to be like everybody was bitter, or as if Kendrick was like trying to sun everybody. And all of a sudden it's not the sport of rap.
I don't think the general fans.
Not the general fans.
I think specifically there were some people
who
looked at this like, oh, he's coming for all of you. This is the energy we need in hip hop. This is what hip hop is about. Because the fans that rap, which is to Lupe's point further on in this conversation, the fans that rap or the rappers that study rap know that this is just a call to action.
Yes.
This is just bringing people out so we can have this back and forth like we had at one point in time. And anybody that takes that and twists that into Kendrick Lamar now hates all these other people or is starting a beef with all these other people, then they're the ones that are misconstrued it, but I don't think it's everybody's fans in general.
The whole squad is good.
That's TD.
We all good. We all good. That's me is here.
So you saying that you and Kendrick
is here.
I'll let you finish.
We're talking about you and me.
You saying
What's
Kendrick?
the problem?
You saying Kendrick Lamar don't have a problem with you, right?
You're not Kendrick Lamar. What's the problem?
Why is his name in your mouth? I can't do the same for you. That's what I want to know.
I mentioned.
We already said this, right? He's ducking actually answering the question.
Yeah.
But the fact that like he says, why can't I talk about you the way you talk about Kendrick Lamar on platforms, not quoting, like not acknowledging the context in the way that Lupe is talking about Kendrick Lamar. Lupe is Kendrick Lamar's peer in the industry. Koala Tea is a fan at this point.
Yeah.
Whether he battled or not. He is coming from this point of view as a fan because he doesn't do that work anymore. He's not in the business. And that's what Lupe gets at a little bit further in the conversation is like, do you still rap? Do you record songs? Do you own a marketing firm? Like, do you have a deal? Like all of these questions, because Koala Tea is saying, no, I have a right to speak about you as if it's the same as the way you talk about Kendrick Lamar, and it's not.
Well, and it could have even been a good argument if you defined why you were talking about him. You won't define why you're talking about him.
No,
like,
of course, right.
And that makes it more invalid because you're doing this false equivalency of like, well, you talked about it, y'all should be able to say this. And I was like, well, a lot of times either Lupe was asked about whatever it was or was doing rapper stuff and probably talking, to rappers. Like it wasn't making a statement to us or making a statement of the artistry. Every statement he's made in regards to Kendrick has always been about lyricism. It's not been a thing about like, I don't think he's a great artist. I don't think he's a great man. Like it's been rapper stuff that rappers do.
Yeah. And I think we'll get to his real point a little bit later in this conversation, which is honestly what he's really saying about Kendrick Lamar. And so, yeah, let's keep pressing play.
You mentioned him first.
10 years.
I ain't even said nothing.
You've been saying it for, you been talking about Doc for 10 years.
Relax. We're here. I mentioned
Lupe.
Kendrick nowhere.
Lupe,
he's not in the comments.
My problem with you was
I'm talking to you.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you my problem.
You're not Kendrick Lamar. You're not signed to TDE. You're not on PG Lang. You're a fan. What's the problem?
Lupe, I'm closer to you than you are to Kendrick. Now what's the problem about that? So I'm closer to you.
That's crazy. It is a crazy statement because I think it's false. And I'll tell you why it's false. He's comparing record sales. Mm-hmm. And he's saying that like the gap between my 0 sales and your 20 million is closer than the gap between you and Kendrick. But he's missing part of that equation that is not talked about and is only seen from the fan perspective.
Yeah.
Number one, Lupe Fiasco and Kendrick Lamar have like a 10-year gap between when not necessarily when they started, but like they have, well, maybe, when they started, but like, cause Lupe started at 17, Kendrick, it was probably 16, 17 when he first started too. These people have a generational divide between them, and the music business was different.
Very, very, very.
Lupe started when CD sales were at their pinnacle and on the way out. Kendrick started when streaming started becoming a thing, right? The Pandoras, the Napsters, the so forth and so on, and 360 deals came about. You cannot compare hard CD sales, where people will go out and buy your thing, to Kendrick Lamar's Kendrick Lamar's sales, because what you're not taking into consideration is all the downloads, the illegal downloads that happen in that equation. You're not talking about all the concerts that people went to during those times, the concerts that Lupe still sells out at this juncture. Koala Tea is further. He is further from where Lupe is than anybody will ever be. He does not have a leg to stand on with that argument, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I think it's from the framing of just trying to do whatever you can to see to appear or be closer, right? You could, in fact, be a peer. Like Lupe respects the number of people that Koala is bringing in, which is why he even had the conversation with him. And it's like he also respects the artistry of what it is that Koala does in battle rap. And it's a weird thing where it's like when we get into these conversations and we start to like devolve into these arguments, it's just like, I ain't yelling at you. I'm not talking crazy. I'm just saying, hey, let's walk through these points. Let's walk through what it is that you have an issue with in terms of how you're doing these discussions. I don't know if you know it or not. Somebody selling 100 million. That's a lot. That's great. 20 million is still a lot of people, especially when you've been pirated, when you've had label wars with almost every album you've put out in some way, shape, form, or fashion, whether you've had, 360 deals put in front of you, whether you've like had all kinds of your marketing has been sabotaged in a lot of different ways, and you were not given all of your tools for success, and yet you still sold 20 million.
I think it's a statistic that's even more like that could shine a better light on this is that most people that put out songs today have 0 streams. Zip, nada, zilch. The majority of the tracks that are released on a year-to-year basis have 0 streams on streaming services. If you even have 1,000 streams, you are now elevated to a higher percentage of artists than any of your peers that have ever put out a song. That gap is more significant than anybody ever recognized. Now, let alone you sell 20 million records and you're still selling records today. You're still getting streams today. You had millions of records downloaded. That factors into that equation. That puts Lupe Fiasco at the point percent of rappers. Not the 1%. It's like it's smaller than the 1%. And so I think that's the issue that like is not being seen here. Let's continue to the point to where I think you could just press play. Like your rapping is too difficult to understand.
I'm closer to you.
Right,
No, it's not.
great.
No, it's not.
Right, you're his cousin.
No, it's not.
Are you his cousin? Are you signed a TDE? Are you
I'm
a PG
close.
Lang?
No,
Are you a
I'm
blood?
telling you.
Are you a bounty hunter? Like what are we talking about? You're from New York. You're not even from California.
Are you going?
Right? You're from upstate
Lupe,
New York. You're not even
I'm
from
closer
California.
to you.
What's the problem with
Lupe.
what's the problem? Me and you are here. You got the opportunity to talk to me.
Lupe,
right?
I'm
You
close.
want to talk
But
to Doc?
you're condescending.
What's the
You're
problem?
condescending. You're
What's the
talking
problem?
about. You
What's the
talk
problem?
about. Hold on. You talk about. Hold on. You talk
What
about
is the
Kendrick.
problem? Get to the problem.
Lupe, my problem was you jumping in freaking content creators chats and taking over the live like you're doing right now.
Nah, that's not what happened.
Now when I tell, yes it was.
That's not what happened.
Did you not see Curtis King? Did you not see what happened with Curtis King?
I talked to Curtis. Call Curtis right now.
I don't know. I don't have
Curtis on the phone.
I don't have Curtis number. It's my opinion.
Curtis.
It's my opinion. Talk. I saw how he was. I saw how Curtis.
Cool. Me and Curtis are cool. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Curtis not here. I'm on your live. What's the problem? What's the problem?
Your way of rapping is too difficult to understand. Let's talk about that.
That's unfortunate for you.
No, it's not unfortunate. It's for everybody, except for the Lupe.
It's unfortunate for you.
It's for everybody.
Go ahead.
You see, I had to stop and say, except for the Lupe fans,
which
is who I'm trying to service.
Right.
Like, if you not a fan of me, what does it matter?
It doesn't matter, and that's the point. Is like. If I'm rapping and I get an audience and I get enough audience to sell 20 million records, if I get enough audience to go on a tour and actually sell out a tour in a time today where like stadiums are empty for people and tickets are like $7 million a pop.
Facts.
I'm sorry, like if I can go on the road and sell out a tour nationwide, I have an advantage over the market, and the people that appreciate me are the ones that I need to be catering to, and are the only ones that I need to cater to.
Here's another point, right? So his raps are too difficult to understand. How many people do you earnestly think understood Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl message? Like, we're watching it, got it, immediately understood who he was talking about, who he was talking to, in the face of the people he was talking to.
I would honestly say that I would go beyond his Super Bowl message. Like, I would argue that many people don't understand what Kendrick Lamar is talking about to begin with because they hated on To Pimp a Butterfly. They hated on Mr. Morale. And it took Kendrick making Damn and GNX and other records for them to like calm down, and even like they treat Kendrick Lamar the same way that they treat Lupe Fiasco. So don't get up on this high horse now.
Yeah, man. It's just a weird thing where when we get into these conversations, right, about we try to like, you can only make your argument by removing all of the qualifying factors that are important. So one, if you're not a Lupe fan, it doesn't matter. Two, what is your point in saying that, where it's like, so you're saying because I only sold 20 million, that somehow it was because there was a barrier for entry for what the casual person.
But
like,
that's not even true. His first record was Kick Push. It was just about, like he said, it's just about skateboarding. That's all it is. And it did numbers. And the next record had multiple things. He won a Grammy. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Like, I see what you're saying, because I am an intellectual individual who can look at evidence or take a framing that isn't just based in my emotion, that like has to remove so many things to even stand.
It's a baseless argument, and I think that's the point. So Lupe breaking down this narrative, right? Like, right. I think is masterful in how he handled it. And so I think we should talk about some of these things. We already spoke about, like, that's unfortunate for you.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate for you, because like if you're interested in understanding Lupe, or you want to understand Lupe and you cannot understand Lupe, then that is like, that's a you problem. Yeah. That is not for him to fix or for him to be different in order for you to get it. You just put it down or try harder. Mm-hmm. That's just it. Lupe said, anytime that somebody's speaking about me, behind the scenes is a rapper. So it's a content creator talking about me, talking about like me on the internet. Mm-hmm. And what they are is a rapper. What he didn't say is a failed rapper.
Right. But it's you know how people used to always make fun of, or they still do, but how people make fun of teaching by the, like, if you people who do can and people who can't teach or mm-hmm. whatever. Mm-hmm. That's what this feels like, because it, like you said, it's always a rapper that feels slighted. I don't know why. Like, I don't know if it's the gap that they themselves seem to feel between them and Lupe, or the fact that somebody who is a peer of these people, who has respected, like, whether it's TDE or whatever, because him and Ab-Soul is mad cool. So he's always had some level of connection to them. It's not like he out here just disrespecting or talking crazy about Kendrick. Like, there is no missing piece or disrespect between them. It's only when we talk about the people who seem to feel that they want to be in that conversation or be at that level that we have these kind of situations.
Yeah. And I think originally the conversation was going to be about like the jealousy that exists. It's not, he's projecting mm-hmm. his jealousy of Lupe Fiasco, his jealousy of people that have made it onto Lupe towards Kendrick Lamar. What about, having authority to talk about rap, right? So I think he's, like I mentioned before, he said, like, have you sold any records? Do you own a record label, own a marketing company? Have you done a deal? Like, any of those things. Lupe's point about authority to speak on rap, how do you feel about that?
I feel like, again, it's one of those things where people can misinterpret a couple things. So the authority is basically, what is your knowledge? What are your credentials for us to have this conversation on an intellectual level? He is not saying, with your freedom of speech, that you can't say what it is that you want. But there comes something with that, where it's like, if I'm going to engage with you, so say you're saying what you want. Well, now let's have a conversation at the eye level that we need to have it in. So if you want to talk about my sales, why are we talking about my sales in this way? Like, what does it matter? Do you have any of these things that would give you more information so you can be informed? Any rapper, that any independent artist or whatever, understands the biggest thing that separates a lot of us is marketing budget. It's not that you can't sell or fill out stadiums.
It's that people don't know you exist.
It's if you don't know, you won't be able to buy records. I can't increase sales off of nothing, or you not seeing me. But like, you have the people that get those lease, when the record companies get those leasing deals for like Kohl's and all of these places, and you hear the same songs everywhere. That's marketing. Even if I don't like your music, I know who you are, mm-hmm. which helps you because you have facial recognition. You have actual recognition.
Right. And it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to market a record or get it to radio, that type of thing. Like, the barrier of entry, the barrier to entry for at least some of those things still exists. When it comes to authority, mm-hmm. right, I think you don't need any authority to tout an opinion.
Yeah.
But you do need authority to back up a claim with facts and evidence. And like at the very least, that authority is research.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like taking the time to absorb some content, look for sources, back up your claims, like have some evidence tied to you. That makes you authoritative about that argument.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that like in this situation, he is making an emotional, subjective and highly opinionated claim and backing that up with more opinions.
Yeah.
In order for his thing to stand. Here's the big part of it. There's 100 rappers that are better than Kendrick Lamar. So like Lupe brings that into the conversation to make a point. Because he's asked by Koala Tea, like, you know what I mean? Like, you said that there's 50 better people than Kendrick Lamar. Like, who is it? And he's like, and Lupe goes to ask, like, well, wouldn't you say that battle rappers could out-rap some of the mid-tier mainstream rappers, right? Well, if that is true, there should be at least 100 rappers that are better than Kendrick Lamar. What do you think about that?
I think it's one of those things where it's like, again, so many artists that just don't have the marketing. It is a huge and crucial thing. Like this current notion of how we have to move through like virality and everything else is a disconnect of understanding. Like, yeah, me having the opportunity to pay for a distro kid and have distribution does not come with marketing. It just means I'm going to end up on the platform. And like you said earlier,
it's distribution.
The statistic of that is I'm probably going to get 0 streams on certain things if I don't go and actually promote and get out here and try and like get people to listen. And I have to, on some levels, either catch virality or catch enough marketing budget to be effective and at least grow to touring standards.
Right. And right now, today, there's very little organic virality if you're not running ads.
Right.
And running ads 100% is like one easier way to get through there, but you still need a budget to do that. At the very least, you need at the very least, I say bare minimum is $150 a month. So like, and that is just scratching the surface of like exposing yourself to the audience that you would need to sustain a career. When it comes to this conversation, the one thing that stood out to me is the sort of zombie narrative that Lupe revealed to us. Yeah. What do you think that revelation? How would you think it was helpful for this conversation?
I think it was helpful because it was like, hey, you said you couldn't understand me. And I feel like Lupe just noted that, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, I'll get back to that. So even though I think it's unfortunate for you, I'm now going to try and explain myself in regards to these things that you might have missed to you. And also explain how, like, I was able to use our fascination with zombies, which to me is more of a larger fascination with what happens after we die.
It's storytelling, right? Yeah. Right. Which happens to be like common. You pick a common trope, right? Yep. Like you mentioned in pre-production, you take a kind of Shakespeare-like thing, right? The love story or this story or this story, something that's been common throughout human history that people are going to biologically resonate with before they even know they resonated with it. And then it will sell records for you. Right.
And you had already seen the general response because of the coolest or the cool. You had already seen from the song on Food and Liquor that there was a draw. He would probably know about the shows he was going on. He had already started like working his brain on building out that album, or even how he uses it again, like on Draga's Waves, where you think about slaves being thrown off ships, and instead of drowning and dying like a lot of them did, they're now growing gills and swimming, and they're introduced to this underwater culture. And like, there's so much that is like layered within these things of how he marketed himself to this wide range of fans.
Right.
That you
or the point that he made about Amy Winehouse.
Oh yeah,
coming back to life as a battle rapper.
Yeah, and like he goes back to it, but it's just like a small theme that we're so instinctively attuned to, which is more to his point, that you wouldn't even notice it or call it that.
Right. It counters his claim that people sort of don't understand Lupe Fiasco. No, you do. Like, you do down to the core of you.
Mm-hmm.
And something pulls you to him, but you're just not, it's just not being shown to you in a way that you would want it to be interpreted.
It's interesting, and I really appreciate how Lupe handled this information. I even appreciate how he handled Koala Tea, because even in trolling him in the way that like he was trolling Lupe, he wasn't disrespecting that man. He came on the platform and gave him an earnest conversation, tried to get down to the nitty gritty of things. It still explained the constructs of what's going on and what he's talking about. Like, alongside giving Kendrick the props of being a better, more well-rounded artist, and just not giving on the thing that none of us rappers give up on, which is somebody can rap better than me.
But what do you think? Leave it down in the comment section.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. And we also hope that you guys really enjoy our classic album series, which you'll be seeing very soon.
What was that?
I don't know. Sorry.
Are you a zombie?
Find out in the next episode. A 1 and a 2 and a peace.